Hello, my scary ghouls and goblins. Welcome to Spook Town Spook-Around, where Halloween keeps going 24/7. No, I'm just kidding. Don't you worry. It's Crowdfunding Countdown, where we're going to take a look at every single board game campaign, finishing up in the next week. And so let's get into it. Let's get right into the week. Honestly, I did tell Like Me that I would wear these in another video, but I put these on and I forgot that I was wearing them. So that says something, even though they don't have a volume adjustment on the thing. It's comfy, and I'm wearing it correctly now, so much more comfortable. Let's get into the week. That was last week. We're getting into this week, starting off with something I missed last week. We have Mage Noir, Animal Enigma, expandable card game. Mage Noir is growing with new expansions and exciting new mechanics. Animals will join you. Mages will bring them with new powers. Let's check it out and see. Oh, this is even better sound. Yeah. Helps when you wear the thing correctly. They're actually pretty good. I really wasn't impressed with these, and now I am very impressed with the sound quality that's coming out. I'm not impressed with this video, it's just a bunch of pictures, but good news for Like Me, they got more ad space that I didn't promise them I'd talk about them. I just said I'd wear them, but that's a little thing. Anyway, I'm all over the place right now. This does nothing for me. Let's see if there's a how to play. Innovative twist on resource management, Mage Noir reshapes the rhythm of dueling card games in a unique way. Well, apparently it might not be. What is Mage Knight and why play it? Same thing, right? Thanks to its unique shared mana pool and focus on spellcrafting, Mage Noir is a card game with a unique rhythm. A shared mana pool? Yeah, that's what I was about to say. All the mana you use will stay within reach, meaning either you or your opponent may use it again. Oh, so whatever you put out, then you can pick up. I see, that's what they're saying. Create your own personal Magic style thanks to highly customizable deck building, mix and match elements, and combine spells and spellcraft your way to victory. Now, with animals, you only get to pick a single animal in your deck, so choose wisely in your deck building. Great, I just wish you'd tell me how to play. There's a spellcrafting system that I'm also interested in. I like that they're calling it an expandable card game, even though they're also dividing it into seasons. Have you gotten the memo that it won't be in retail because they're going to tell you after every single Kickstarter exclusive? I don't think this game is in retail whatsoever, so that's an easy thing to say. Where to play? There's a print and play version, that's nice. If you took the smaller mana pile this turn, so I guess you're divvying out the mana into two piles, and then you get to choose what mana pile you take. If you've read the campaign up to this point, you must be an expert player. No, I was just trying to find out how to play the game. Actually, I'm certainly not an expert player. If you want to dive deeper, we got you covered. Game that was made for competition. That's how you, okay, that's the tournament. What is the game? Rules and cards. Currently on Kickstarter collection. These are just all the different cards. Okay, that's nice. You can scroll through and see what all the cards are before you purchase them. Just like, do you see how hard I am trying to learn your game right now? Meant to be played on PC and on paper. Okay, you could play this online. Detailed rules. Oh, it was right below there. While these rules are only necessary for a small fraction of the game's Mage Noir players around the world, we like to make sure players can follow clear rules concerning the resolution of action. You want to dive deeper into the very depth of Mage Knight's interesting interactions? Take a look at our advanced rules. Well, no. Please refer to the game's basic rulebook. Okay, please, just give me the basic rulebook. Oh my goodness, finally. All this to just tell me that we're going to put mana into two piles and each take turns taking them. 20 health points, reduce your opponent's health total to 0. So it's just like Magic the Gathering. If you draw a card, you don't have a deck to draw from, you lose. Oh, I like this. You basically just draw 2 hands of cards to start and choose which one you want. What a lovely mulligan rule, that you see your mulligan before you take it. Players take turn to gather resources and cast spells. When you add mana to the available ether, add it one by one, alternating between one pile and the other. There you go. Always start by adding mana to the smaller of the 2 mana piles. Well, that seems less exciting. Like this shade. If one pile's empty, it is logically the smaller pile. you know the people who wrote the rules wrote that in there because somebody's like, what? I don't get it. They're like, well, you follow the logic. What's smaller than 1? 0. What's larger than 1? A community. Let us all serve the greater good of the community. Praise be to the Mage Noir. Cool, the first thing to do during the mana gathering phase is to choose 3 mana of any of the elements in the infinite ether to put them into the available ether. So you're always adding in different types of mana, which might support you more than your opponent. Yeah, I think that sounds fun. That's a nice little balance there. Magic energy used to cast spell, yeah. Cool, so you can cast spells, you can just leave those spells on the table, you spend mana to put a spell on the table, and then you can use those spells that are on the table to cast larger spells. So there's some chaining together, building the combos. This definitely seems fun. It seems like a fun style of game, I'd be interested maybe in playing it online. You can become a Mage Noir by invoking some rituals that up levels you a little bit. It's deck construction, not because deck building happens during the game and deck construction happens after. A bit incorrect to call it deck building, I would say. I would refer to it as deck construction. What's shipping like? Shipping to the US is $12 for a new starter bundle, and a starter bundle is about 65 US, 59 euro, 89 Canadian, so it's like $100 for the starting bundle. While it seems fun, I don't play dueling card games nearly enough to justify that, but you can check it out if you want. It finishes tomorrow, Tuesday the 5th at 10 a.m. Let's keep on moving to this one. Work of Heart, a tabletop dating sim. I know it isn't funded yet, but I had to look at it because I just think dating sims are fantastic, and I don't think they will translate whatsoever to the tabletop, but let's see how it works out, shall we? This is competitive dating, not casual dating. Travel to campus, upgrade your traits, and charm the heck out of your crush, which I think there was a cat. One of them is a cat in there by the dating sim genre. There also were some cards where you can just take that and hurt other people. I think the best dating game is obviously Dream Phone. However, this maybe can come in a close second. You choose a love interest, pick one of the 12 characters to romance, each with a guy and a gal version. Our characters were illustrated by Ginger Choke. Mark your pass. Place tiles over every space you land on to claim limited resources. So, kind of route planning. Work of Heart has a resource management element. Once a tile has been placed over a space, the space is now useless. You can take resources from other players just by moving strategically. Think of the traits as your stats, level them up to increase your likelihood of earning affection. I would love to know how that works. Romance your crush. Once your traits are up, use them to earn affection from your crush. I want to send out a message right now to my crush if you're watching. I hope the traits that I have earned from running all around to earn your affection. I don't deserve your affection. I'm a lowly, pathetic worm, and you are God's gift to this realm, my beautiful crush. You are the true work of heart, but I swear I will waste the competition. Anybody who sets foot in my way, they're gonna get whacked. This is going to be a murder sim from here on. You know that song, Jesse's Girl? Oh, you better watch out, because that's what I'm going to channel. Where can I find a woman like that? Yeah, action cards or take that. There you go. I'm sorry, Brandon Lopez. With that sort of sultry gaze, I know who I will be romancing in Work of Heart. Shipping 14. Was there a rulebook that I missed? I was too entranced. I was too busy talking about all my crushes. Crushes? Oh, God. No, just one. I don't know how you move, though. Learn how to play in less than 50 minutes. You know how I could learn how to play? If you just gave me a rulebook. That's how I could learn how to play. I mean, I think it's pretty simple. I'm going to take a brief, I guess, glance at this video, but it's annoying. Roll and move. That's why it's not doing well. Just give yourself a movement range. Give yourself any decision. Roll the dice and move. At least there's multiple different paths where you can land, but it's just roll and move, collecting these different resources, using those resources, trying to meet up with your crush. And hey, if you don't roll the right number to meet up with your crush, well, you suck. You are not worthy of love, is the moral of that story. If you're interested in this, it finishes Wednesday, November 6th at 9:55 a.m. We're going to keep moving to Brutus. I don't even know her. An area ruled by betrayal, epic battles, and a goose. Crush your friends in this strategic and hilarious card game set in ancient Rome. Okay, I'm ready to laugh. When in Rome, do as the Romans do and laugh at funny cards. This seems like it's going to be a pretty easy game. I would like to learn a little bit more about it, though. The thing that is drawing me in is that there is some sort of negotiation aspect that can happen, but I think you just throw cards into the middle and you see who has a higher number, is kind of what it is. Oh, of course there's a not safe for work box. How does it work? You draw an organizer, they set the rules for the tournament. So Julius, players place the gladiatorators. That's the word. That's what it's a gladiatournament. Place their gladiatournament winners at the same time. The number at the top left indicates the number of gladiators you draw. You draw 4 gladiators. Take a good look at your gladiators. These brave warriors in poor instance are your champions. Use your powers as the Lannister to turn the game to your advantage. Bad bettors pay the bill. The others are safe for now. Okay, I want to know what are you betting on? How are you betting on? When are you betting on? Why are you betting on? Shipping is 12 euros to the US, 15 to Canada, 10 to the EU. This is a 20 euro game, so it's like a $50 game, and for a $50 game, I kind of want to know how to play it. Does that seem reasonable? I don't know. These are powers of Lannister. What are the powers of Lannister? No idea. Fight it and bet until Brutus sorts it out in the finale. How do you fight? No. Nobody knows. Great. I guess we're moving on. I'm done with this. I guess I'm cranky. I don't think I'm cranky. I'm cranky because we're at campaign 2300 out of them all, right? I think. Yeah, 2300, 2330, 2400. We're almost at 2,500. And if I have to see another campaign that's so simple, doesn't give you the rules, I don't know. I'm going to lose it. But I'm excited to check this one out. Reef and Ruins and Wicked and Wise Deluxe with a new expansion. Use Hydras to search for treasure in this crunchy yet approachable roll and write. I'm excited about this. I heard that Wicked and Wise wasn't that good, and I think I made it my pick for me. I think I was interested in Wicked and Wise, and then reading the reviews or people rating it on BGG, of course, Board Game Geek ratings aren't all that it's cracked up to be, because, you know, people can tank reviews for no reason, but you want to read the context of the reviews. It seemed like it was a mid experience, which is a bit of a bummer, but I still think I would enjoy playing it. I still stand by it as being my pick for me, like way back when. So I'm interested in this. It's only 19 bucks, it says. So let's see what this little approachable roll and write is all about. Seems cute enough. Sort of reminds me of Rolling Realms in a sense that you're doing 3 things at once. You have 3 dice. You're trying to manage these 3 different tasks and assign them based upon what's going to be the most helpful. You have 3 Hydra heads. That's what the 3 dice are, and your Hydra heads can work together, they can combo together, or they can do separate things. How to play. You start the game with Reef, Ruin, and enchantment sheets. See, like, even this tells me so much more information than friggin' Brutus. Et tu, Brute? Players should start the game with the matching set of sheets, instead of mixing things up and playing with different reefs. Oh, there's a bunch of different reefs. That's cool. Okay, so the ships, you use a dice to unlock the ship, and then you add numbers to it. That's a little minigame there. Enchantments, you need at least 2 dice. Could be 3 dice. You're unlocking special enchantments. And then the reef, you can find pearls. After 18 rounds, the game ends. Players gather the treasure. There's a print to play, that's nice. And it is only $19. Print to play is $9. The game is $19 US, which is $27 Canadian. And then shipping would be $7. So that's, you know, that's nice, because it'll be a small game anyway. You can also add on Wicked and Wise, which if you like asymmetric trick-taking games, that's what it is sort of pushing itself forward to be. It seems cute, but it really doesn't wow me whatsoever. I think it would get stale fairly quickly, and I don't see why you wouldn't just play Rolling Realms instead, to be honest. But if you want a cheap little roll and write, well, you can check it out. The theme is cute enough. That finishes Thursday, November 7th at 10 a.m. We are not covering the next 2. We have SOB, a wild game of acting out that has mysteriously exactly hit its funding goal, and no more. I'm sure that it isn't somebody just pushing that forward on the advice of who knows who, which is just a shame that people go through the launch boom, Academy Mill, and get their money taken and don't get anything else in return, but that's what you get. And we're also not covering Cat Sudoku, so at least that one has funded in a sense. Hope they didn't spend too much money on a marketing template that worked once, and they've been riding high ever since. So we're not covering that either. But we are going to cover the Bad Karmas and the Curse of Cthulhu. The Bad Karmas return with a full reprint and a new standalone expansion, The Curse of Cthulhu. Battle against giant AI-driven monsters in this dynamic and immersive co-op boss battler for 1 to 5 players, featuring new hero archetypes and 6 new bosses from the Cthulhu mythos. The Bad Karmas must once again fight to save humanity without succumbing to the curse of Cthulhu. I didn't know the Bad Karmas were a band or a group that you got to play. I thought it was just, I didn't know what it was. I knew it was a Tiburu, Cthulhu system. I'm just saying that over and over because Renee is laughing at me. And I'll do anything for a laugh, and I'll run it into the ground until people stop laughing. And then I'll say, dang, I did it one too many times. But it wasn't that time. I'm going to check out what the Bad Karmas are. Yeah, I didn't know that they were sort of some board gaming girl group that danced on a magnetic system. I just thought you got bad karma for playing a tabletop game that that was made entirely out of circuit boards. I don't know. Let's see what this is about. I do like that Taburu, Cthulu, they're like, hey, once you own the system, you don't have to buy it again. So pretty good. You still will have to buy the games, though. The Taburu system, or Taburu system, I immediately forget how they pronounced it in the video, is a electronic system that senses where your pieces are, and so it can respond and provide and sort of GM the game for you without you needing to worry about it. It senses your roles, it senses where you move people around, and it'll put things up on an iPad and go rah! That's my monster impression. The future of board game. Yeah, the game system takes care of game rules, enemy behavior, storytelling events. It's cool that they're keeping on doing with it. Clearly there was a market for it. I didn't think that this would catch on. I thought that this would die an instant death, but it hasn't died a death yet. So that's kind of cool. New to the bad karmas? Learn more. Sure. Where did you put me? Oh, just down here. An immersive 1 to 5 player cooperative boss battler featuring an original IP instead of the inspired by the campy over-the-top action movies of the 80s. These are the bad karmas. Thanks to the Taburu system, the Zodiac bosses are able to make intelligent decisions and even react to your moves in real time. All boss behavior and player upkeep is managed by the app, allowing players to focus on the action and immerse themselves in the fight. Yeah, I mean, I think that does sound like a neat idea. And the fact that you can roll physical dice and obtain results that's read wirelessly is also kind of fun. You still get that physical tactile sensation. And I saw somewhere, okay, shipping is $25 for the Cthulhu core, $45 to Canada. I mean, that makes sense. Shipping might be a little bit more expensive when you have electronics in play. So if you already have the hardware needed to play the game, this game will cost you €75, which is an important statistic that this is going to be the average for what a game will cost you to use this system. But apparently the game comes with cardboard pieces, and they're giving away the STLs if you want to print 3D versions of those cardboard pieces. So one of my patrons was very excited about that and was telling me about it. As he greedily loaded everything into his cart, as he pushed aside the 60 outstanding Kickstarters on its way, and said, just one more. Cracked open a cool can of Mountain Dew, Blue Voltage, and said, honey, start up the Taburu, because we got Cthulhu's to slay. I imagine it will be a similar feeling to the new revamp of Return to Dark Tower, in that there's some movement that you do, but it's more about the excitement of the system, right? The excitement of having the monsters react to you more than any other gameplay innovations. I think it will be more focused around having these big old Cthulhus light up and like turn and chase you down. When every other Kickstarter all in is the same amount, it suddenly becomes less sticker shock because we've been shocked too many times. And a lot of people are into it. $445,000 Canadian, 297 euros, just 297. Our currency conversion is very bad. If you're interested in that, the finish on the 7th at 1 p.m. Moving along, still on the 7th, that's Thursday, we're on to Trombone Champ, the card game. A game of trombones, baboons, and hot dogs. All right, you've got my attention. Based on the award-winning video game. Okay, cool. Let's see what this is like. $25 for what is sure to be just a nonsense card game. An easy-to-learn hangout game about trombones, baboons, and hot dogs. Honestly, it knows what it is. It knows its audience. It's going for it. Chain notes and combos on the songs to extend the trombone. So it looks like it's like Guitar Hero, but for trombone. Make your friends eat hot dogs instead of scoring notes. All right. My go-to joke is that I will work for hot dogs, and I do, or summon a baboon to eat the hot dogs. You know what, Trombone Champ? Spice things up with an uppercut. It's for strategy reasons. You've got my attention. Featuring some of the Earth's greatest musicians. Sparkle, Breezy, and Fizzy Pop. Flea Blops the Destroyer. That was very well done. That's very funny. Super Toot Deluxe Edition. Each player has a 13-card dedicated deck. Play note cards on the song cards to extend the trombone and earn toots. If a player manages to score all the notes on the song, they get the listed toot bonus. A song is scored when Finito card is played. Oh, so you can all place cards together. Okay. We talked to several trombone scientists to find out the correct names for these notes. Single, double, upside down, golf club, pirate sword, squiggly boy. It's not even a note. It's a treble clef. Fishy fins, fancy Dan. 15 toots to win a short game. You know, as far as funny card games go, this gimmick is alright. Hot dog tokens can be played over any already played note card. This prevents your opponent from scoring the note because they're too busy eating the hot dog. But a baboon can eat all the hot dog. If you're playing the same note as the last player, it's a blowout, so you can play the same note. You want to time that out. They say the physical table you are on says how long your song can be. I like that they keep on using trombone scientists. That's very funny to me. Well, you know what? This boner champ has really cheered me up. It's not going to give me a rulebook, I guarantee you. Oh, yes it will, you beautiful, beautiful trombone. Oh, I could just stick my face right in your trombone hole and give it a blow of appreciation. Or I would be appreciative if it was loading for me. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So you're going to have 3 cards in your hand. You're going to play cards and you draw back up from your own deck. Each player has a 13-card dedicated deck, and you want to play the notes on these specific songs to score the points. Does anybody know the font that is used here? I know this is an odd tangential question, but I think this is a very funny font. It is not the funniest font, which is objectively Comic Sans or Wingding, but I think this is quite a funny font. It's Poppins? Apparently it's Poppins. Renee came running from the other room. She said, something that matches my unique set of skills looking at fonts. Renee has a big book of fonts that she keeps on her bedside table, and if she doesn't learn them all, recite them in order before she sleeps, the font goblin will come and get her. And we can't have that.
Tell everybody to stop buying Kickstarters and come to Value Village with me and get Jumanji for $8.
$8?
Jumanji!
Wow.
The real movie one. I hope it's not haunted.
Well, if you don't see us for a little while, it's because we've been sucked into this game of Jumanji, which, all the games that I have on my shelf, and Renee wants to play Jumanji.
You don't even know it's not fun.
Yeah, anyway, this is it's very simple. You play a card, you draw a card, you gotta time out your cards, you hope nobody has the other cards in their hand. It really doesn't seem like much strategy whatsoever, but, you know, it makes a really, really good case for itself. So, Trombone Champ, the physical game, it's $33 Canadian. Shipping is not listed. Maybe it's in here. Shipping to Canada is $10 Canadian. That's nice. Shipping to the US is $9 Canadian. Everything else is around the $16 mark. So it'd be $43 to get this game for me. I'm not interested, but I appreciate the laugh. Thanks, Trombone Champ. You really... The next hot dog's on me, okay? I'll take you both of the people who made this. I'll buy you a Costco hot dog, and I'll shove it right in your trombone. Next time we see each other. That's a promise. Next time we see each other at a Costco, because that just feels like it would be a long journey depending upon where we see each other, and I don't really want to commit in case it's a rural area at the Rural Tromboning Championships. Yeah, but you know, next time we see each other at a Costco, I am happy in Canada, to be clear, it's got to be in Canada, or at a Costco that has a kitchen with hot dogs. Then I'm happy to buy you both a hot dog. That finishes Thursday, November 7th at 2:45 p.m. Moving along to this. Wow, this has raised a lot of money. Xscape, the evolving game of survival. Strategically move through the board, shifting its landscape. Cool. Outsmart and outmaneuver your opponents, survive to win. Sure, I'm interested. It's a toy and game company. Friendly Rabbit in North York. That's very close to me. That's part of Toronto. Please stand by. Stacked. Oh, I remember that one. Okay, yeah. That one also raised a bunch of money, didn't it? And it seemed okay. Cubed. They all have these sort of spatial games. And Open Wide, Grandma. And a lot of funny card games. So they've transitioned from funny card games to good-looking dexterity games. Let's see. Evolve your game as you navigate through the play area. Move strategically to outsmart and outmaneuver your opponents as play spaces become increasingly scarce. Oh, it's just that survivor game. That's all it is. You want to not be trapped. Evolve. Survive. Move through the play area. Take turns moving one space at a time. After each move, place your trail chip. Oh, so everybody has a different color of trail chip, I guess. Each space can be played on twice. After the first play, it remains open, but after the second play, it's sealed with a black trail. Okay, so you can go walk on it 2 spots. Activate the Reaper. Land on an X. Activate the Reaper. The player activates the Reaper, decides where it begins. The possible starting points marked with blue X's. Once activated, the Reaper moves clockwise, destroying every space it lands. Slide through ice. Outlast all players to win. I mean, yeah, but what is this going to be? It's going to be like $86 for this game, which it seems like it'll be a fun enough pastime, but not $86. No way, Joes. But if you're interested, that finishes Thursday, November 7th. I don't even have to look at the shipping. I can already tell you 86 before shipping is a bad deal. But that finishes November 7th at 3 p.m. We're going to keep on moving to this one. Wow, it's raised a bunch of money. Terry Pratchett's Discworld RPG Adventures in Ankh-Morpork, a tabletop role-playing game set in Terry Pratchett's Discworld. And now we're covering this and there's only one reason. That's because one of my patrons sent me a message saying, hey, look at this. And the last time he sent me one of those messages, I was supposed to publish a 10-page apology for not covering the glorious RPG, what was the last one? Ultraviolet Grasslands, 2nd edition, UVG, and Our Golden Age on Backer Kit, an Ultraviolet Grasslands RPG sequel. They have a strong choose-your-own-adventure feel, but are more open-ended with options, much more creativity and imagination. Let's look those up. Shout out to Steve for bringing these to my attention. The Ultraviolet Grasslands. No days left. You're right, there are no days left, but there is still time for Terry Pratchett. Yeah, if you're looking for a choose-your-own-adventure mixed with RPG board game genre, you can check that out. But this one is Terry Pratchett. Now, Terry Pratchett, there was a Discworld Ankh-Morpork Martin Wallace game that used to exist, which is why you might know the name. You might know it from the series of books. Discworld covers a range of genres, including the witches and guards as well. There's some other Discworld board games that I knew fully and wasn't just reading the message that Steve sent me. But I think it's worth pointing out, this has raised a heck of a lot. I think Terry Pratchett is a very funny author. I haven't read that much Terry Pratchett, but I have read a few of his books. I've always enjoyed them. I think the worlds that he creates can be very fun as well. Apparently there's a previous RPG version of this by Steve Jackson Games, which makes me a little bit less interested because Steve Jackson Games is the one who came up with Munchkin. But, I mean, he's also done a whole boatload of RPG stuff as well, I'm pretty sure. Discworld Ankh-Morpork was rebranded into Nanty Narking. I think that was Martin Wallace's game. You can get all the PDFs for £40. Wow, 73 Canadian. Still pretty expensive. Core rulebook and dice for £50, 91 Canadian. But if you're interested, you can check it out. You can download. There's a quick start guide here. I'll leave the links in the description down below as well. So if you're interested in RPGs, you can take a look. That finishes Thursday, November 7th at 3 p.m. Moving along to Stefan Feld City Collection, Chichen, Itza, and Valencia. The only thing that keeps Queen Games afloat nowadays is Stefan Feld. The only thing that can make Queen Games any money whatsoever. But we're going ahead with more of the City Collection, cities 9 and 10. That's pretty wild. Chichen, Itza, Mayan, and then Valencia, which is a Decemberists song. That's how I know it. Valencia Classic Edition, €49, 74 Canadian. You know what? That actually seems along the lines of what games should be on Kickstarter instead of their usual 100. Valencia Deluxe, 78, 118 Canadian, if you want to get all the wooden pieces. And then Chichen Itza Classic is €79. See, there's the Queen Games I know and love. Kickstarter Special, storage boxes. Wow. That is special. Or you can get the collector's edition for $139, 210 Canadian. So let's look at both of these, starting with Chichen Itza. As the sun sets in the great Mayan Empire in the heart of Chichen Itza, beneath the great pyramids and temples, ancient seals that once bound mythical creatures have been broken. The gods and beasts of legend, serpents of the sky, jaguar spirits of the underworld, and other beasts of lore emerge from the forgotten realms to reclaim the world of mortals. Their siege is relentless, their power immense as they descend upon the sacred city to consume its glory. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. Take care, the gods are fickle. Command your forces, harness the favor of the gods, fight the relentless tides of mythical beasts. There's a siege. Look at those nice little acrylic standees. That's nice. 100 printed wooden warrior meeples. 1 number collectible sticker with printed Stefan Feld signature because he doesn't care to sign them anymore, for real. At the heart of the game, you'll find a unique action selection mechanism. All the actions are randomly placed on the action board at the beginning of the game. Yeah. Then the action cost markers are randomly placed around. Cool. On your turn, you place one of your 4 action markers on a tile on the action board. If you're the first to use the action in the round, you pay the coins to the lower the cost. If the other player wants to take the action, they have to pay the higher cost. Cool. I like that. That does seem fun. I don't see why they both have to be random, right? The cost could just be random. Oh no, because then the same row would be the same cost every round. So in this way, it shakes it up. Yeah. Your player board has 4 gears representing various abilities that can be upgraded with corresponding actions on the action board. Each gear focuses on one aspect of combat, and upgrading them is crucial to being successful in combat. Base game comes with 7 unique types of creatures you can fight against. Each creature also comes with a small board that shows its unique dice face and also its special ability. You can take up to 5 troops from one tile and move them as many steps as shown on your ranged combat gear. You're allowed to move through tiles with creatures and other players, but when you end your movement on an occupied terrain tile, the combat is triggered. Okay, you can move through creatures. You can be like, I'm not going to fight you. Pardon me, evil monster. You don't have to worry about me. We're just passing through. We're going to go kill your friend that you're protecting. Yeah. No, don't worry, it's okay. So in a combat phase, you do a magic phase, then a ranged combat, and then a melee combat. And all the monsters can also attack in these combats as well. Magic will have you playing different cards. You're always going to roll dice, though, to see if you hit on a certain result. And if you do, you can remove a life token from that beast. The beast will hit back and sort of whittle down your forces, but you hope that you can eventually roll your dice enough to take out the beast, as these brave warriors just did. You'll play 6 rounds. After each round, the round markers advance to the next space. Nice, and a really nice chart distinguishing the differences, all down to, with the deluxe you get this box and not the classic box, and in the classic you get this box and not the deluxe box. It's very clear. It's great. Fantastic. There's screen printing on the meeples, and you don't get the acrylic standees, but you would get the little eco-friendly storage boxes if you pledge on Kickstarter. That's their carrot that they've got going on for you. That was a great explanation too. Very clear. There's no rulebook that I saw right now, but I think that was a nice explanation. On to Valencia. With your blood getting warm on the ground. The game Valencia was formerly published under the name of Strasbourg, the artist formerly known as Strasbourg. The new edition retains the already streamlined gameplay with the following improvements: variable setup, 2-player variant, artwork by the Micho, and cute little wooden ponds. Oh, you're not going to tell us anything about Valencia because you're like, it was Strasbourg. Dang it, Queen Games. You were so close. You were so close. You were like, Chichen Itza, here's all this great information. Valencia, it used to be Strasbourg. If you played it, you're interested. If you don't get it. We don't want your money. Shipping is going to be expensive. Valencia Classic, €18, €22 to the US, or the bundle of both, €35. All-in Deluxe, 10 games for the All-in Deluxe is €90 though, so group shipping, which is nice. You know, not the worst one. Chichen Itza kind of looks interesting, but again, it would be what, $150 if I had to get it? Well, no, if I got the standard, the classic, it's $119 Canadian. Plus additional shipping, 150-ish Canadian for me. I have other area control dudes on a map games that I enjoy. I don't need another one, even if this one does seem like it would be fine enough. I like the action selection mechanism. I do think that looks interesting. I like how that can really shake up the game. I love that sort of crisscross action grid. I love that in concept. But yeah, you can check it out if you're interested. It finishes Thursday, November 7th at 5 p.m. Moving along to this one, Springsign, or Springsing. Counselors build a town together, but in the end, only one can be mayor, and the rest of you will be evicted from the town whatsoever. I will be known as the founder. I am the founding badger, and all will revere me. And all of you other peasants who built the town with me, you will be sent, banished, exiled from hence. Hey, I don't make the rules. I got it from Sing Sing, the prison Sing Sing. Charming. I'm very charmed. I'm very charmed from that video. Springsign, which I will here now call Sing Sing Prison. With a core pledge of $45, 63 Canadian. You have some asymmetric abilities. It's going to revolve around using the resources of the workers in your town and feeding them to make sure that they're okay, unlocking different relics that you can use, and going out adventuring, all in the pursuit of popularity, which will get you the votes needed to become mayor. This is also developed by a board game store, people who all work together at a board game store. This is the first board game that they're developing, which is very apropos that you're all building a town together and only one of you will succeed. Which of these will be given designer credit? Well, you'll have to wait and find out. What I also like is they said, yeah, and there's a less complicated one because my family are a bunch of dumb idiot babies, and I have to play with them sometimes, and so they need to be able to have a thing that their feeble little brains can understand. Direct quote. I didn't embellish any of that. And if you go check the video and it doesn't say that, well, it's been edited. It's been edited out. Step 1, replenish. Each settler card in town generates new resources, which you use during the coming season. If you've hired any settlers, those resources go right into your inventory. Okay, cool. So you can get settlers on your side, or they can be in a general. So your player board will give you some actions, but you'll gain others during the game. A common action will be to explore the world, which lets you add new cards to town for a reward from the town's market. Hiring settlers to generate resources, studying relics to gain powerful new actions or passive abilities, and fighting a bandit to claim its bounty. To gain popularity with your actions, you'll need to plan your turns around the building cards in town, which will reward you with popularity for fulfilling their requirements. Whenever you scratch a little relic, scratch yourselves 2 hearts. The step ends once each player has decided to stop taking actions and return home. So I think you probably take one after another. Dissatisfied settlers leave. Settlers who haven't sold all their wares will look for work elsewhere. Their leftover resources become available in the town market. Bandits and troublemakers can cause anarchy, which basically moves up on the vote track. They can vote anarchy as mayor. And the mayoral race goes to the anarchists. Burn this! Sing to the ground! Rulebook, yes please. So you can take their resources. Yeah, you take the settler resources by doing the feed action. I like this sort of shared resource pool. That they do that in Sudoku as well, I believe. And I think that's an interesting concept. I guess it's like, it's not really that interesting, is it? Well, like Wingspan does it too. You know, there's a market of resources and you can take from that market of resources. I don't know why. I was like, wow, this seems innovative. I don't think it, well, let's stay with the innovation, sure. You can take as many actions as you want. Some actions will tell you to stop taking actions and then you have to wait till other people take actions to go again. Neat. Yeah, the flow of that seems fun. What's shipping going to be? Shipping $15 for the US, so $60. That's not bad. $19 for Canada. So, you know, this is a $90 game for me. I don't think it looks bad whatsoever. I just don't think that's what I would want to spend, but I don't ever want to spend money ever. So, you know, take that for a grain of salt. However, if you have a large collection, I was supposed to be even more mean this week. I'm just remembering I took the oath of the Gungans to make myself mean and miserable and make sure that you don't get yourself any treats. If you have 100 games, if you have 50 games, if you have 50 games on the way, right? Think about what your collection is, which includes games that you have on the way, and then the bar for purchasing a game should go up. I purchase things when they feel like too good of a deal to pass up or too unique to pass up. This is neither of those things. I think this looks like a good game, a solid game. I think it seems fun enough, but it also is not a necessity. And I think that that's what the bar has to be for purchasing these days. But if you're interested, that finishes Thursday, November 7th at 9 a.m. Moving along to this one, Into the Dark Dungeon Silver Mine, a solo cooperative or competitive dungeon crawl tabletop game with randomly generated dungeons for 1 to 5 players, arena included. It's only €22 because it's just a small little thing as you put all these cubes around the board and you try to fight them. Kind of reminds me of Dark Tomb. A dwarven silver mine now occupied by goblins. The mine has numerous entrances. Labyrinth halls are challenging to navigate. Treasures and valuables await the daring. 4 characters to choose from. Each character has 7 cubes to track abilities and progress. Black cubes are for the enemies. Goblins, wargs, and trolls to encounter in the mine. You can visit the quest master, the merchant, and the mystic for additional stuff. The gates and halls of the dungeon. How to play. Your objective is to become the hero of the region by acquiring titles, wealth, power, and occasionally vanquishing your antagonists. Only occasionally. You can become a hero without doing that. Just look at King from One Punch Man. Attacking, roll the dice, add your attack attribute to determine your hit score. Goblin will lose 1 life. I guess you just have to be a bigger number than the goblin and you keep on rolling the dice. Bunch of different map tiles that you'll flip over. I mean, seems cute enough for a cube-based game. I think Dark Tomb looks a lot better because of the action selection mechanism in that. But it's €22, 34 Canadian, plus shipping. It'll be like $50 for me. So I guess I can't really cut it that much slack. €11 shipping for me to Canada, €12 to the US. Take that. 8 to the UK, 10 to 15 for the EU. Even still like $50. Not really that interesting. I think you should check out Dark Tomb if this gets you all excited, because I think that one does look better. But if you just want to move around, roll some dice, have a quick little small dungeon crawler, check it out. The finish is Friday, November 8th at 7 a.m. Moving along to Rumble in the Planet, a tactical battle royale game. 2 to 5 players battle their way to fame in a wild, deadly, no-holds-barred rumble. Let's get ready to plan it. Our trip Plan our trip out. Borderlands arena style. Oh, I do like that you're targeting your opponent's body parts. That's fun. It's time to rumble in the jungle. Rumble Planet is the interstellar TV battle royale tournament pitting the best fighters from all corners of the universe against each other. You're going to run around, get a bunch of loot, use that loot to punch each other in the face. Feels like a video game. They brought it to tabletop. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me as well. It reminds me of like Borderlands arena style. Minis are cute though. Hard to read when you zoom in. There's a little boss expansion, so an NPC that's running around hurting other people, but it's still a rungle in the jungle, a ramblet in the planet. $100 Canadian, €65 for the core game. Gameplay overview. Choose a figurine, a heroic item card, prepare to face your opponents. Your goal, reach 18 prestige points to triumph and become the champion of Rumble Planet. Your equipment evolves, advances on the equipment track, eventually wears out. That's cool. Strategic resource management is crucial, keeping your arsenal in top shape. Sales and purchases. Turn your loot and credits to equip yourself with powerful weapons and armor, but it's going to wear out. I really like that wearing out. That's fun. Organize and upgrade your gear by crafting weapons and armor to maximize combat capabilities. Yeah. Movement. 3 base movement points. Each free space in your equipment track increases your agility. Climb, descend, use portals to navigate the terrain. Attack, use your weapon to make up to 2 attacks per turn. You roll the attack dice. Gain height bonuses to deal more damage. You're targeting specific spots of the body as well. That's a thing in Iridia, which I think is really cool. And how do you win? Feats or special objectives shared amongst all players. Injure an opponent 1 space away. Boom. So you're just trying to appease the masses as they scream and shout. And that's kind of fun. The first time you injure an opponent in a turn, you earn 1 PP, but you can't keep targeting the same opponent to stack up PP. So if you want to get more points, you really want to attack everybody all at the same time. But if you knock out an opponent, it gives you an extra PP. Pay to win. During the purchase phase, you can pay 18 credits to the production team to immediately gain 1 PP. Yeah, I mean, it seems fun. Seems cool. That's neat. Estimated shipping costs, 24 to the US. Nice. 32 Canadian. So this would be $132. They made Crowsmaster Arena. That makes sense. I enjoyed Crowsmaster Arena a little. This looks better to me. If you're looking for a battle royale game, I think you could do a lot worse than this. This seems like it'll be fun. I like that the equipment will atrophy. But if, again, you're just going to run up to somebody, roll a dice, punch each other in the face. It's not going to be tactically that engaging, but I think it could be a good shout. If you're interested in that, that finishes November 8th at 10 a.m. Moving along to the board game named after me, The Maniac, a double hidden movement horror board game for 1 to 6 survivors. Who will be the maniac? Maybe you. All right, this seems kind of neat. It's basically Betrayal at House on the Hill, but then when somebody becomes the evildoer, then everybody has a hidden movement. So the maniac doesn't know where you are, you don't know where the maniac is. It says it's a very innovative game, but this is what Xscape does. They've said it's never been done before, this dual hidden movement, and it has been done. It's Xscape. But it does seem like a fun vibe. I want to see how people move. I want to see how the hidden movement is glow-in-the-dark box. That's fun. Director's Cut. Thanatos adds a new miniature to the game depicting the maniac with an angry face. Oh no. Okay, search for useful items. Beware, you have to find the cursed mask. You become the maniac. Find items for an escape route. Watch out for the maniac. Hide from him. Fight against him. Call the sheriff. Mwahaha. Standard edition, €59. $90 Canadian. Collector edition, so you get a board with multiple levels and you get some minis, not standees, even though it's a hidden movement, so you won't appear until you appear. I don't know. For an extra $46 Canadian. Download the rulebook. Yes, please. I do have questions. You have a healthy side, you have a wounded side, you only have 2 hits, 2 health points essentially, and then you were replaced by, well, you're dead. You're dead, but you can play, you can keep on playing. There are other characters that you can jump in at. So you program your actions, you decide what you're going to do, repair, move, etc., but there's a programming element to this game. The maniac wins by murdering enough people. So that's why you come back as a cameo player, because the maniac can murder you too. The maniac board, you write down where you move. So no real reason to have a deluxe version of the board, since most of your game is going to be done hidden. You don't need it. Oh, the actions are only secret when the maniac exists. That makes sense. Cool. And so there is this sort of deduction phase for the maniac of, okay, I heard that you opened a door. You're probably here. You're probably here. And you're just trying to find each other. Standard secret movement style. And you can even be forced to discard your action tokens as well. You only have a limited number, and so then you might get limited to the actions you can actually take as well. And you'll level up as the maniac as well, because you get more and more insane. Maniac wins if you eliminate all survivors, or you eliminate 6 characters. Oh, so all the survivors who were present at the beginning of the game. Because when somebody dies, somebody new jumps in. But as long as you kill the people who started there, then you don't have to win 6 people. Or kill 6 people, rather. Winning them over to the seducting quality of your blade. The Maniac must watch the actions of the survivors when they're doing all their stuff. If at any time a survivor is in the same area as the Maniac, they must intervene. It's called an interaction. The type of interaction that occurs depends on what the characters are doing at the moment. You can fight, you can chase them, essentially. You can also use a hiding place as well if you're hiding in an area. The survivor rolls the dice and gains the number of hiding places. So you might have 3 hiding places, and then you hide in one of them. Did you hide under the bed, in the cabinet, in the drawer? Then finally you have to escape. Yeah, I like the dual searching that happens. I don't think that's that bad. It's €25 shipping to Canada, or to the US rather, than €28 to Canada. Cheapest is to Italy at 13, but most of Europe is also 18. Forgot those were still in my ears. Says something for them being comfy, I guess. So for me, again, $120 game. I like hidden movement fine. I think the theming of this feels very strong. I think this sounds like it would be a fantastic Halloween spooky game. If you like Betrayal at House on the Hill, or you like hidden movement games, then you could look into this. If you wanted a meld of both, that's essentially what this is. I'm not too sure on this one. It all depends on how well it will balance bringing the tension up. I like the idea of being the Maniac and watching the players, but also when you're watching the players, so they're running around on the map still, you still kind of then do know where they are. So I don't quite get the dual hidden movement elements. It's not as strong for the Maniac as it is for the people, but still could be interesting. That finishes on the 8th at 12 p.m. Let's keep it moving to Harvest, the Fall Festival and Golden Edition. Hello, neighbor. Come on back to Furfield for a festive expansion or pick up the deluxeified version. This is going to be in our Polyomino Deathmatch Harvest. So it's a Polyomino game, I know that much, and I'm excited to check it out, but I'm going to take a break first. Okay, let's check out Harvest. The Fall Festival Golden Edition. There's a new expansion, so Harvest Fall Festival is the expansion, and then we have the Golden Edition, which is everything. You can play it on Board Game Arena, that's great. This is the new expansion. It's only $19, that's nice. The leaves are changing, the days are getting shorter, the smell of blue ribbon pies is in the air. It can mean only one thing. The annual Fall Festival has come to town in an all-new expansion. A new sideboard for festive fun. Festival goers can place their basket over here instead of placing a wheelbarrow on their turn. I know what that means. And yes, I said wheelbarrow, and I won't ever stop. You can earn a few extra coins, harvest your fields, collect festival offerings, get some pie cards with some set collection. Different sets of pie to score more points at the end of the game. Novelty cards, so it combos with the actions that you're doing. You get to do other stuff. New characters and enemy meeples, cute. This gets you all the original promos for $89. I wonder though. Okay, Harvest Retail Edition, 67 Canadian. Harvest Golden Edition, $100 Canadian. Sold out here, but you know, maybe they could get more in stock. You could save yourself the shipping, essentially. You get metal coins in it. You get some wooden components. You get custom box organizer and 2 resource trays. It's the only thing Game Trays does it right. So shipping is $9 to the US or 12 to 19 for the Golden Edition. So we say 19, right? Always go on the higher end so that you're not surprised. 23. Yeah, you should just get this in retail. Like, I could get the Golden Edition for 124, or I could get it at my store for 100. Actually, I could get it for 150, or I could get it for 100. So, you know, or you get the retail version for 60. I wish they described what the base game was on this main page. That would be great for me. It doesn't look like there's that large of a polyomino aspect of it, but I was interested in it because it has been in our Polyomino Deathmatch going on so far, and I was hoping that they might actually care about selling their product as opposed to just to 12 people and let me know. It's nice that it says the rulebook is fantastic. Would love that if it was on the page and anybody could look at it. Is it that hard? Is it really that hard? I love how the frequently asked question is, how do you play the game? No? Like, I shouldn't have to go off Kickstarter to find this. And I'm only doing this because it is in the Polyomino Deathmatch and I need to know for that video. It's the only reason. That's the only reason why we're getting this pass. Otherwise, I wouldn't care. I don't think there are real polyominoes in here. I think there's small markets and large markets. Oh no, there's 12 pumpkins. Okay, these are polyomino. There we go. There's a sunrise phase, an action phase, and a sunset. You choose sunrise tiles from the display, replace it with your current sunrise tile, then resolve all actions across the sunrise abilities available to them. This is how you choose your actions. Then you'll take turns placing a wheelbarrow in an open action space of their choice on the town board. So worker placement, perform the actions in any order. Once you place all your wheelbarrows, you're ready to do the sunset phase. You retrieve your wheelbarrows, you shift the market. Yeah, it's just the upkeep. Okay. So you can get some fertilizer, you can fill your bucket, you can purchase seeds. These are all resources that you can use to plant stuff in your fields. And then in your fields, you're going to be making this little polyomino game of arranging your tiles in a beautiful order, although I think more emphasis is about the worker placement aspect of bringing things back, etc. Somebody mentioned viticulture as a quote, viticulture and something else. Agricola and viticulture. Sure. That's a nice touch point. And your crops will need to be tended as well in order to grow your fields. So once you have stuff in there, you can then grow your fields out, which is neat. Then the shaping becomes significant as well. Cool. Seems neat. I don't think you really need the deluxe. Like, I wouldn't be that interested in anything other than just the base game, which they're not really selling here. So I would just look for retail. This is a nice price for the fall promos, a little fall festival expansion. $20 feels nice. I mean, it's still 27 and then plus an additional 17. So it's like $50 for the expansion. Again, this feels like a retail purchase, not a Kickstarter purchase. But if you're interested, that finishes Friday, November 8th at 4 p.m. Moving along to something I am excited to check out, although I think I won't enjoy it. But we have Madcala. This was once the Mad Hatter's favorite tea party tradition, a game of Madcala. That was until the Cheshire Cat took over as the host. Oh no, Cheshire. Well, this Mad Hatter is going to check this one out. I think Wonderland's War is fantastic. I think Wonderland's War is incredible. And so I'm sure this cannot be as good as Wonderland's War. I'm contemplating buying Wonderland's War with this. But I think I could just get it from Druid City's store and not give like a Kickstarter fee. So that's like, why would I buy it here? So it's a dueling Mancala board game with asymmetric abilities, many trembly. Hey, there's many trembly. All right, looks cute. And more forgiving of the Mancala aspect. Usually I don't like that in the games, but I'm more forgiving because there are these asymmetric characters. You can add these different characters to your row and use their abilities to face off against each other. And I think it'll feel like Mancala dice throw. If instead of dice, you wanted Mancala, that's currently what this feels like to me because it's designed by Manny Tremblay, who designed Dice Throw, and there's asymmetric characters. That's all, and it's colorful. That's the reason. Choose your guest and +1s to battle around the map. Oh, that's what they call it, the +1s. I was like, what is a +1 when you're referencing a symbol in the video? Yeah, you choose your guest and your +1s, you battle around the Mad Hatter's table. You choose this to start. Move a pod of shards, activating the last pod you place the shards in. You punch each other in the face. Use the +1's abilities to swing the battle in your favor, so you can use their little tokens. You want to deal as much damage to each other as possible. Utilize the commoner deck, those commoners, those pathetic little worms, and array their actions to surprise your opponent with an unforeseen strategy. So there are other cards that you can draw. I'm interested in that. Deal enough damage to defeat your opponents and bragging rights at the tea party. And earn bragging rights? And win bragging rights at the tea party? Deal enough damage to defeat your opponents and defeat the bragging rights at the tea party. That's what it was. Let's check out the rules. Thank you for having the rulebook. Cool. 24 character cards. So there's 6 main characters, it looks like, and 18 +1s. That feels like an adequate disc breakdown. Custom tray. How much are you going to be? 45. Madcala Deluxified. It's normal shards, doubler shards. What are these chips for? Oh, I guess they're the ability tokens, essentially. So everybody who has Wonderland's War is like frothing at the mouth. They're like, we need the deluxe chips. I imagine this will only be created deluxified. Oh, there's a group pledge. That's nice. So reduce shipping. That's good. And then you can also get Wonderland's War. See, I would be fine. I don't need the minis in Wonderland's War. I would want like the retail version of Wonderland's War. And then if I was going to upgrade, I would upgrade with the premium chips. But then having the premium chips and the Wonderland's War, it makes for like a weird box size. I'm sure there's a better insert out there. Who am I kidding? Okay, let's look at the rulebook now that it's loaded. I just want to see what these actions are, the different actions that you can take, and maybe give a bit of an example of your +1s. Yeah, so you have 2 different shards. You have black shards and pink shards, but you do go around the table. That's something I wanted to know, if it was just your own half circle board or not. Perform all the actions. So you can add shards. Place it onto your home plate. You can heal yourself. You can draw a commoner, so drawing cards. Draw the top commoner from the deck, put it into your hand. So these are basically the Dice Throne activation cards. That's what the commoners are. They're like the ability cards in Dice Throne. Deal damage. Refresh your +1. so they're one-time active. And then home plate, choose any of the actions on your side of the board, and it's a balance in terms of how this goes around. That seems pretty easy. You when your opponent is 0 health. I mean, I'm interested in this because of the art, because Wonderland's War is so friggin' good, and because I quite enjoy Dice Throne and I have faith in the asymmetry of Many Trembly. I'm not interested in it because Madcala breaks my brain. Group pledge though, 25, so if you're getting 6 copies, yeah, you're paying only like $4 for shipping. That's good. That could be, then 67 for this game. It's still a bit pricey when I probably would gravitate towards playing Dice Throne versus Madcala. Like, Dice Throne is what I would introduce people to. I like that as more of a dueling game. And I think Dice Throne does have a Kickstarter that's going on right now, although I think it is a bit more expensive. It's around $70 for 4 characters now. So I'd probably just get any other characters from Dice Throne that exist that are in the the retail space. But this definitely looks good if you can get it in on that group pledge. If not, US is $12, so it's like 57 each. Oof. Canada would be like 80, so at least you save some bucks. The problem is that I want Wonderland's War, and I don't have enough space in my house. And I have things coming that are big. And so I need to get a new house, doable. Or, it's not in Toronto, it's not. Get rid of a bunch of stuff to take this out. Wonderland's War is very good though, so I don't know. If you're interested, this finishes Friday, November 8th at 4:30 p.m. Very exciting. Looks nice. Let's check out this one. Wish. Unleash your inner djinn. Step into the enchanting realm of Wish, a thrilling game where you embody one of 4 mighty djinns, each with a unique ability. Okay, well that video was fun, but told me nothing, so not fun at all. It told me that the game's over when the caravan reaches the sea. That's about all I got from those rhymes. Genies, they can be so mystical. They never tell you what's going on. You're going to run around gathering magical crystals. You will use your crystals to fulfill wishes and build your engine while gaining a follower. Well, yeah, obviously, if you grant somebody's wish, they're going to follow you forever. Well, this is just a fake edition with the $6 upsell, but I appreciate that it exists, I guess. Use your followers to build impressive monuments, as they will make monuments to your glory as a god. Select your actions carefully and strategize ahead of time, so it seems like there's a little bit of a planning element. You have 3 actions you can take, and you can choose between them, and then when you complete 3 wishes, you unlock your hidden power. All right, yeah, I like this potentially fulfilling contracts to get workers, and the types of workers will have an impact on what you can do. Like, that seems interesting to me. Fulfill your destiny by the end of the game and shower yourself with glory and golden victory points. Enjoy asymmetric abilities and surprise your opponents with strategy. Ooh, I love surprising my opponents with strategy. It's way better than surprising my opponents with just pure nonsense, which is what I normally do. The moment the caravan reaches its destination, the game's over. Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued enough. Give me the rulebook. I like this idea of getting the people and then using the people to do stuff. I want to see what your powers are and how that works if it's programming. The goal of the game, you gather the most victory points by fulfilling wish cards, using amassed crystals, matching them. The wishing person meeples of the corresponding colors construct monuments with the meeples you collect and fulfill your destiny card. Navigate this enchanting world with precision, leveraging your mastery of wish cards, monuments, and destiny objectives to claim victory as the most accomplished djinn. There's a manifest ability at every location. You can get crystals, which will be your income, and then the color of the wishing person meeples will reside in the area, so probably places you need to go to fulfill a specific type of contract. Each djinn is a passive ability. Yeah, you can't place 2 action markers in the same column, so you can empower or manifest, travel or fulfill or use the special ability. That makes sense. Empower, manifest, this is a manifest ability, so it's doing that specific ability. Empower is probably just taking the power from the land. Travel is moving, fulfilling is completing a contract. I assume, I'm going to see if I'm right. Wish is played in several rounds. You don't know how long the game is going to go because at the start of each round you reveal a card from the caravan deck. This indicates the movement of the caravan. Travel, adjacent area. Boom. Empower, take the crystals. Boom. Manifest, perform the manifest ability. Boom. Or trade with the caravan. There you go. Fulfill, play a wish card. Boom. Or build a monument. And then you have these little asymmetric abilities, like reserving stuff, getting additional crystals. Yeah, this seems simple enough. Chaining things together, little combos. I think this seems like a nice, fun, simple game. I see nothing wrong with it whatsoever. In fact, I see some stuff that might be a little bit right with it. This seems quite nice. Simple contract fulfillment. Shipping to the US is $12 to $15, so It's like 70 shipping to Canada, 15 to 18 US, so about $100 for this game. I wouldn't want to pay $100 for this game, as I never want to do for anything. But this one looks like a perfectly good game, pretty solid. I think the fun will come from the board layout and the design of the board, really, in terms of how the movement is determined, where the spaces are, moving around and getting the spaces and getting the small little actions. It seems pretty simple. Move, get stuff, move, fulfill, right? Like it's not going to break the bank strategically. And if you're interested in that, the finish is Friday, November 8th at 4:58 p.m. Okay, moving along to this one, the Dungenerator Die in a Dungeon, a solo cooperative narrative dungeon crawl that turns your dice into doomed heroes. Cool, another small little solo dungeon game. Let's see what this one's about. Oh no. There's some monsters in these dungeons. Oh, what do you think? A narrative dungeon crawler. That's kind of fun. This is sort of being put forth as like, hey, your RPG group didn't show up. Well, now you can play this. You need a set of dice. You need the deck. Each action is associated with a verb. It generates the story each session. Doesn't it already? Roguelike campaign. Dying in a Dungeon is built to be played over several sessions. Okay, that's different. In order to have a shot at defeating the evil that lurks within the dungeons, players have to first complete smaller village quests, build up their village, collect loot, train, etc. There are many ways to customize your party. Each campaign will be unique. Cool. Add or drop a player. Well, there's only 2 players, so you can play a bit while you wait for your tabletop RPG group to arrive. You can have this as an amuse-bouche for your RPG night. No, hey, get off the computer. I need to look at this stuff, bud. I know you were just looking for the how to play. You were looking for the how to play. The Dungenerator. You choose a room and you flip a room up and you place a room. Here are the basics. Play action cards from your hand to battle, move, search, prepare. Some actions have a cost, like discarding another card in your hand. Cards on the table might have actions you can play too. If you have a hero in their room, like in the tavern, your dice are your heroes. Their current faces must meet or bear target numbers to complete certain actions, like beating monsters. So you have a very strong dice, and you have a little weak elf. This is not a game of rolling dice and seeing what happens. You always have ample opportunities and resources to plan or mitigate your dice rolls. Win a session by completing a village quest. Win a whole campaign by finding and defeating a monster. Full beta rulebook. Yes, please. Thank you. Cool, I like this. Hero quest, quick objectives that add hero actions to the player's action deck. So you can get more actions as you go through, kind of level up your abilities, which seems fun. 69 pages. Yike. The Outlaw, the Scout, the Mercenary, the Archmage, the War Priest, and the Berserker. That's your dice from 4 to 20. Action deck only contains 10 basic actions, but by the end of the campaign, you can do a bunch more. You hold 5 cards from your action deck. You take actions from the cards in your hand. Players' turn ends when they can't afford to take more actions. And then I assume monsters would react? If there are monsters, I suppose. Then their turn ends with monster activation. Okay, yeah. Oh, cool. So you have a village square where you can take an action, and then you can go to different dungeon delves as you put things out. And it's all just sort of stat checks. There's a sneak value, there's like a defeat value, there's a number of different targets on a card, so you need to put the dice to hit that target. So sometimes you'll need your rogue there, etc. Right? This requires a 5 and a 3, so you can just basically 2 people. Both battle targets are filled, the battle is won, the monster is killed, and the heroes are rolled, so then they can have different strength, variable strength as they move along. When the heroes lose a battle, one of your heroes just dies and goes into the cemetery. I think that looks kind of neat. So you can get Die in a Dungeon. You need a Dungenerator deck to play, so you need a combo of the 2. So if you already have a Dungenerator deck, which nobody has backed, 200 people had it before, though. They got Die in a Dungeon for the system. But if you want a Die in a Dungeon and Dungenerator deck, it's $43, 60 Canadian plus shipping, 6 to the US, or 9 to the US rather, 16 to Canada. That's a lot. That's a lot for some cards to create your dungeons. I suppose the Dungenerator deck is also used for creating dungeons of your own, if you want to use it as part of your RPG experience. Yeah, check it out. The finish is Saturday, November 9th at 1 p.m. I mean, I just clicked on this because I really like the word naughty. I like that there are some files called Naughty Little Elves, and I'm also very upset about it because they mean it not in the way that I mean it. They mean it in the actual sexy version of naughty, and I'm trying to reclaim naughty as the funny word that it is. So all of you naughty little elves out there, I mean, come on. They don't, when I refer to you as a naughty little elf, we're not referring to this. These are not the naughty little elves we're looking for. You know, the naughty little elf was in your heart all along. Anyway, that's why I clicked on that. Let's look at this one. A normal card game. Experience fast-paced, whimsical combat with 80 unique cards. Outsmart friends and family in a thrilling battle to be the victor. I imagine this would be a funny card game, as you have a stanky leg and a tinfoil hat, But it says it's a normal card game, so I'm going to assume it's just a normal card game, I guess. The most confusing thing about that video is they say that their realtor just increased the rent. Clearly this person has never experienced having to pay for rent. Am I wrong? It's a landlord. Landlord or landlady, or just landlord for everyone on the gender spectrum. Combining strategic turn-based combat with party of the game-like twists. I imagine you draw a card and you punch each other in the face. Draw cards, look at that! Everyone draws from the same 2 piles. You have spells and other things. Summon creatures, you summon creatures. Force them to fight in your honor. Equip items, make them stronger. Cast spells, punch each other's in the face, sacrifice HP, don't lose. A normal card game, $25 for a game that you have played many, many times before, and this one is saying, we know that you've played this so many times, please play ours as well. We're also on Kickstarter. We're trying to make it in this crazy world where the realtors keep upping the price. $10 shipping to the US, $15 to Canada. Like, there's no world. But if the gimmick of this makes you want to have a little chuckle, and you love comparing stats given to you by randomly drawing out of the top of a deck, well, you can! That finishes Monday, November 11th at 2:59 p.m. And finally, our last one of the week, which I really owe a 5 Reasons You Shouldn't back, but you know what? I am too busy as of right now, and that's why the last, 4 or 5 $1 million campaigns, I haven't given you an adequate one. And I know I've dropped the ball here, I know I've let you down, but my life is hectic, and I already planned my content, and there is not room for much deviation in that. But let's check out Root, the Homeland Expansion. I will give you some 5 reasons you shouldn't back Root throughout this video. Starting with reason number 1, Root is the style of game while I watch this video. Good, there's nothing of substance here. It'll just show that a little meeples. Root is the style of game where you need to play it a lot to get a lot of value out of it. Number 2 is you don't like war games. It's based off of a war game system, the coin system. This is a war game wrapped up in a cute little package. There is a lot more strategy here, and if you don't like war games, you may not enjoy this as well. It's your goal to find out what this asymmetry is all about. There's 3 new factions that they're adding into the campaign, now bringing them up to a total of, I don't know how many factions, 12? There's 3 here, there's 4 in the base game, that's 7, and then there's at least, 4 more to make it to 11. I'm going to bet 12. Riverfolk, Underworld, Marauder, Homeland. Root will see you compete on this main board, which you can get a different board with this Homeland expansion, where you will pursue your faction's objective in order to score points. You want to be the first person to get to 40 points, you'll win the game. Everybody can get points in a different way. When I played it a couple times. The Marquita Cat and the Eerie, the Birds of the Eerie, those are the 2 introductory factions, or if you're playing a 2-player game, those are the ones that you have to play. Then you have the Vagabond and the Woodland Alliance in the main game, but for the Eerie, they all have their own different mini games. So the cats run around, they control areas of the board, they're building production aspects, they want to get their resources up. The Eerie focus more around card play and activating 4 different actions in a way that sometimes you may not. The more you activate the action, the higher chance that you won't be able to take the full benefit of the action. You can all crash and burn. And so they all have different ways to play. In order to get the full enjoyment out of this game, you need to play it enough and play it with a group, a 4-player group who will want to play it with you over and over and over again. The Root app is a really good app in terms of learning the game. My friend Matt, who is the person who I have played Root with and who plays Root the most, who has all the content for Root, says when they introduce a new player, they won't introduce the game to them. They'll just they'll say, go off and play the tutorial on the app, learn all the characters, and then come back and you can play with us. Because it just does a really good job of teaching, and then it gives you a baseline knowledge of everything. Now this, however, if you are feeling like getting into Root and you don't just want to go and get a copy of Root at your store, this feels pretty good. You spend $150 and you get $150 worth of additional things that you can add into this expansion. So essentially you get the expansion for free and you can add in a bunch of other stuff. It's incredible though, because everybody probably, these 14,000 people already have everything that there is to have for Root and aren't going for this. But these 1,900 people, if you have the base game of Root and you really like it, this feels like a really solid deal and a really good incentive to jump into the system. But you need to know that you'll like the system, right? There's a lot of asymmetry, and I feel like Root is not for an Omni game. That's what I'm trying to say, is that if you have a bunch of games on your shelf and you play them once a year or twice a year. And you go back to your favorites, you play them, 5 times a year, whatever. But I know for me, there are games on my shelf which I only play a couple times a year, once a year. And Root wouldn't fit into my collection because I don't play the same game over and over and over again. If I do, it's not going to be Root. Like, if Root isn't up there enough for me, or probably because I haven't delved into the system enough, or, it was fun. I like the asymmetry. But this, this gave me pause. This made me think, well, this is a pretty good deal. You get the expansion and you spend $150 on other stuff. It's not bad, especially when the Root gameplay all in comes in at $250. So you're basically almost able to get most of the all in doing the $150 pledge anyway, right? You can get the base game, the Riverfolk expansion, the Underworld expansion, and the Homeland expansion. Essentially, you could just miss out on the Marauders expansion or like little hirelings or something. But yeah, so that's what I will say. I know Root has been pushed forward. And lots of people love Root. It's very high up on BGG. But the thing about Root is that it requires a level of investment to get your money's worth, potentially more than other games and other titles, which can sit on the shelf and you'll be fine. I think it requires a little bit more investment from all players in order to really get a full experience. So if you're interested in that, check it out. The finish is Tuesday, November 12th at 1 p.m. And that's it. That is it for the week. Now, every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting to me mechanically, the thing that I think for my personal tastes I would enjoy playing the most. And the pick for you being the thing that I think you will regret the least if you are forced to purchase something. Somebody's broken into your house and they say, hey, you need to support the Kickstarter economy or I'll kill you. Well, then this is for that situation, and only for that situation can you purchase the pick for you. Let me be clear. But first, I'm going to do a little crowdfunding grunt down to see what I remember about what I've looked at. Yeah, surprised that gets a yeah, but it does. No, not really. No, meh, nah, no, not for me. Yeah, meh, yeah, 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 yeah. Nah, no, and I don't know. This is a tough one. This is a tough week. I have a pick for you, for sure. I don't know if there is a pick for me. Like, I'm trying to think if anybody put these on the table in front of me, I'd go like, okay. But like, I don't think I would be like, oh boy, I don't think I would clap my hands. Often I'm like, woo, yay. That's when, I'm excited. It's like whenever I eat a good meal and I say, delicious. And I just have to proclaim it into the world. This is really tough. I'm going through them all again. I don't think there's a pick for me. I mean, the easy one to say is Root, best pick for me because I played it and I enjoy it, but it's not really the pick for me because, again, like I want to follow my own advice and not really have that much investment. I guess if I had to choose, the pick for me is play, honestly, Grand Austria Hotel that's right above my head. But if I had to choose, I think I'd give it to Springsign. It was between that and Wish, but I think I'd give it to Springsign. The idea of these resources and managing the market of people in here might be interesting. I don't know, though. I don't know, and I don't want to give it an official pick for me because, well, I'm going to have to call myself out on it later. But I think there's enough going on here that I would do it for Springsign or Sing Sing. And then the pick for you, for sure, is going to be Madcala. I think if you like the Madcala aspect of it, I think the production value here will be fantastic. I think Manny Tremblay is really good. The art's going to be awesome, and the asymmetric characters will also be awesome. So I think that was an easy pick for you. Pick for me, not as easy. But that's it. That's it for the week. Those are the official picks, I suppose. Let me know if I missed anything. That's always helpful. And if there are things that you missed. Artie is howling at the top of his lungs because it's almost time for food. So I'm going to go do that. But thank you for watching. My name is Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase. And I don't have room on my shelves. And it's starting to be a problem. I'm sure nobody here can relate to that, though, right? No, I'm sure not.